Backlash 2025 is in the books, and as a wrestling fan and as a WWE shield, you know what I gotta do? I gotta do my review of the entire show. And you know what? My review of this show is not going to help me beat the allegations of being a WWE shield. So, I mean, it is what it is. But before we get into the review, I got to do something very important. I got to do my due diligence. When you're watching this will be on a Sunday. So today is Yo Mama Day. Okay, so I got to say happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there, whether you're a stepmom, a mother figure, and a biological mother, whether you're here with us on earth or in heaven. I just want to say thank you for what you did for us. If there was no you, there would not be no us. But without further ado, let's get into the review. We kicked off the show with a fatal 4-way for the United States Championship between our current champion, Jacob Fatu. Got it, I mean? Yeah, that was awful, bro. I promise. I'm sorry, bro. I promise I will never do it again. I got to do it to myself. MJF, how you feel about that? It was what? It was mad, bro. I promise I will never do it again. I will never disrespect Jacob Fatu again like that in my life. But anyway, we had Jacob Fatu versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight. Fatal 4-way for the United States Championship. And when I did a prediction for this match, I told you guys that this match will be match of the night. And I was wrong about that. Okay, this was not match of the night. Actually, you know what? That is actually a good thing because this match was a banger and there was a couple of other matches that I really did like. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But overall, this match was really good. I don't know what it is about WWE when it comes to these fatal 4-ways and triple threat matches at PLEs, but they knock them at the park every single time, even in NXT. This was a really, really good match. Now, we got to a point where it was an unfortunate spot to where Damian Priest slammed Drew McIntyre through a table, and I saw it live. As soon as I saw it, I cringed. I'm like, "Ooh, I can't believe this happened." Drew McIntyre was slammed on the table. His head barely missed the table and hit the ground. And I saw his head bounce off the ground and was like, man, that's crazy. So prayers out to Drew McIntyre. Hopefully he's doing good. Hopefully he's recovering good. You know, in this feud with Damian Priest, for some reason, he seems to be the one getting injured every single time. I mean, he almost lost the eyeball on top of the car. Now his head bounced off the ground, which I hope isn't anything serious. But you know what? Those type of things happen in wrestling. That's just it. It is what it is. You're putting your body on the line, and this is why we should respect these in-ring performers, because these type of accidents can happen, regardless of what you think. But I saw a lot of people complaining about this, and I'll just talk about this really quick. About the fact that Drew McIntyre is in this match. They're like, why is Drew in this match? He should be in the main event. What is he doing? How is he going to have a year that he had last year and then have the year that he's having this year? I saw reports and stuff like that, and I get it, and I understand where you're coming from. And I agree. He should be in the main event. But here's the thing. For one, you already know the feuds that Drew McIntyre have with people. You saw what happened with CM Punk. It don't just end. It keeps going back and forward and back and forward and back and forward. You saw Drew McIntyre eliminate Damian Priest for the Royal Rumble. Damian Priest eliminated Drew McIntyre at the Elimination Chamber. Damian Priest beat Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, and that's so there's no way this feud was going to be over, and I knew they were going to cancel each other out. And on top of that, when you're talking about a world championship scene when it comes to Drew McIntyre, what exactly do you expect him to do? I mean, he's on SmackDown, seen as a champion. He's not losing that title anytime soon. At best, Drew McIntyre can face Cena, lose, and then people will be upset because they're like, what was the point of having Drew McIntyre go after Cena? So I like the fact that they're continuing this feud with him and Damian Priest until they figure out what they want to do as far as putting him into the title scene. I think we just got to give it a little bit more patience, and I feel like he'll get there. But at the end of the day, the biggest surprise in this match is Jeff Cobb showing up. I knew Solo was going to get involved, but I did not know Jeff Cobb was going to get involved. I was aware that he was signed to WWE, but I didn't think that this was going to be the event. And as my guy Rockula reminded me, that Backlash is the event where people get added to, factions and stables and things like that. And that's what happened tonight. And I thought that was crazy because he kicked LA Knight's teeth down his throat, bro. That was nasty. That was nasty. But at the end of the day, it's great. The bloodline is now the Polynesian bloodline. Not just the Samoans. It's Samoans, Tongans, and now Jeff Cobb, who is a Filipino. Magandang umaga to all my Filipinos. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's get some adobo. Let's get some adobo chicken. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some pancit, sinigang. Let's go out there and get that. But at the end of the day, I thought that was a great surprise. It added interesting wrinkle to the bloodline storyline. Paul Heyman did say this wasn't the end for this, and it is still going. And the look on Jacob Fatu's face when Jeff Cobb showed up, he was looking like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? He made it look like Solo Sikoa just brought a random side chick into the house, and the wife is looking like, who is this? Why are they here? So building up into a match between Jeff Cobb and Jacob Fatu is going to be fantastic. I love Jeff Cobb. I watched him in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I didn't follow him too much after that, but he's fantastic. He's not tall, but he's stocky. He has like a rhino build, and he's pretty quick in the ring. So I can't wait to see that match. I hope that match happens at Money in the Bank because that would be amazing. But if it happens at SummerSlam, I'll be there. So anyway, so next up we had Lyra Valkyria, the current women's IC champion, versus Becky Lynch for that title. Big sister versus little sister. Teacher versus student. Kinda, sort of, maybe not. Anyways, let's move on. But honestly, this match was my favorite match of the night. I know that sounds crazy. And what comes at number 2 is not too far behind. But for me, I loved it, bro. I loved it. I know their match in NXT was pretty good, but their chemistry in this match was far superior to what they did in NXT. And I kept telling people this for a while, and they thought I was crazy, right? And they always do until it comes true, and until it doesn't, then I really feel crazy. But Lyra Valkyria is one of the, if not the best women technical wrestlers in WWE. Period, bro. And last night, and if you pay attention to a lot of her matches, that will showcase that, but hopefully last night really showcased that. And I'm so glad that she had this type of match following the promo she cut with Becky Lynch the past week on Monday Night Raw, because that was her best promo on the main roster. They finally decided to give her a microphone. They're like, oh yeah, I forgot, she can talk. Give her a microphone. So they gave her a microphone. She cooked Becky Lynch. Now she had this type of match, and now we can start seeing the fan base for Lyra Valkyria start to build up. I mean, they already like the wings. They like her doing the Harpy Lady thing from Yu-Gi-Oh! But they're starting to like her even more, especially because of this match. And we got to give some credit to Becky Lynch, man. I know Becky get a lot of hate because of her in-ring ability. They say she do the same thing over and over. Fine, I'm not going to argue with people. But her chemistry with Lyra, again, I remember she did this in NXT, but her chemistry with her on Backlash was really, really good. That played a very, very important role. And I also want to give Lyra Valkyria some credit as well, because if you watch her matches, she take a lot of crazy bumps and keep wrestling through the match, right? We saw Zoe Stark pretty much put her foot through her throat. We saw Raquel Rodriguez almost kick the girl's head off of her shoulders. And as on Backlash, Becky Lynch tried to turn Lyra Valkyria into Michael Jackson. She almost knocked the nose off of her skull. And Lyra was just holding it the whole time and continuing the match. Her arm looked all messed up. And at the end, speaking of arms, Becky Lynch tried to break her arm with the disarmor, and the referees couldn't break her off, you know? So I don't know if this is going to tell us that Lyra, unfortunately, is going to relinquish the title, or she'll play into the injury tomorrow, Monday Night Raw, or the day after tomorrow, Monday Night Raw. It's going to be interesting, but I love this for Lyra. I know what they're going to do. Eventually, they're going to have a triple threat match with her, Becky, and Bayley. And I think this is fantastic for her to put her in the ring with two women wrestler legends to build her stock. And for people who are upset that Becky Lynch was even involved in this, I get people call her Becky Hogan, but ever since she's joined in this, it added so much stock to Lyra Valkyria's title reign already. Because to be honest, up until this point, you know, I love Lyra, but her title reign up until this point and how they were doing Dakota Kai dirty, the title reign for the women's IC title has been what, MJF? It has been mid, but now Becky has added that extra something to it and has uplifted Lyra Valkyria. She had the opportunity to talk on the mic. She had a fantastic match at Backlash. This is going to be so good for Lyra, bro, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see this happen. But anyway, I'm done glazing like Dunkin' Donuts and like Krispy Kreme. Let's move on to the next match. So the next match we had was Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. And you know what? I had Penta winning this match because I thought that Finn Balor was going to cost Dominic Mysterio that title. And then Dominic was going to get involved in the AJ versus Finn match tomorrow. But you know what? This match had an interference by a ton of people, bro. Half the roster pretty much go, like, I'm like, bro, is this the Hispanic Bloodline Rules match? Because everybody was coming out the woodwork. It was so overbooked. Now, I want to give credit to Penta and Dominic Mysterio, bro. They had some great spots, the tornado DDT to the outside, all these different things. It was amazing. It was amazing. I didn't expect nothing less, especially from Penta. But then we had, Carlito come in, Finn Balor, JD McDonough come out, El Grande Americano come out. We had so many different people just show up and come out, and I'm like, bro, what is going on? What is happening here? This is too much for my brain. But at the end of the day, Dominic Mysterio retained, so I'm assuming we're going to get a match between El Grande Americano versus Penta, and he obviously is going to get mixed up in that AAA scene once they get that all started up. You know what I'm saying? And for me, oh, I just saw this video, guys. By the way, I'm getting off track. This guy showed a video of where El Grande Americano was Chad Gable, because I guess Chad Gable has a tattoo on his back. Once the guy went away, El Grande Americano came back and didn't have a tattoo on his back. So there is someone playing him that isn't Chad Gable here and there. And that may play a part in the story. But at the end of the day, I thought this match was a fairly decent match. I really liked it. Great defense by Dominic Mysterio. You deserve it. But I wish WWE would plant more seeds into the split up between Finn Balor and the Judgment Day. You know, I know we're going to get that down the line, but I felt like we should have kind of got something that we got with Damian Priest and Finn at SummerSlam last year when he faced Gunther. But we'll get it at some point. Overall, really, really decent match. So the next match we got is the Mortal Kombat match, bro, because we were supposed to see a fatality happen in the ring. And this match got a lot more time than I thought it would. I thought, you know, Pat McAfee in the first 5 minutes was going to turn into a pulled pork sandwich on white bread, but that is not what happened. Pat McAfee, you know what? The way they did this match, right? And I get people will be upset. They're like, how did Pat McAfee last as long against Gunther? I get it, but guys, this is pro wrestling. It's not supposed to be realistic, okay? It is not supposed to be realistic. But I love the fact that Pat McAfee's resilience, his willing to fight through the match, that was his superpower in this match. That's what they showcased. And the fact that they used that to extend this match out, I think they did it in a really, really, you know, admirable way. Gunther was giving him everything he could to try to kill him. Pat McAfee, you know, stayed alive. He got some offense in. Michael Cole tried to go in there and try to chill the man. Like, come on, man, let's go. Come on, Patty, you got it. And you know, Pat McAfee was still in the ring, pretty much dying. The man needed a respirator. His whole face was red. He looked like the tomato from VeggieTales at some point. And it was a good match. It was a pretty good match given what it was. I didn't expect like a classic or anything like that. But these matches between celebrities and wrestlers, they're always a ton of fun. And I think that's exactly what we got here. And the interesting part of it was the fact that no one came out to save Pat McAfee. People were assuming that Goldberg was going to come back. Maybe, you know, other wrestlers that could help out. But that didn't happen. And then, you know, Gunther gave him respect, which makes sense. Like, hey, you know, I threw everything at you. You fought back. I got to give you some respect. But it's like, now, where do we go with Gunther after this? And I guess that's what we watch Monday Night Raw, is to find out why. You know, you leave us on these cliffhangers. Do we go on to watch the show to figure out answers to those questions? But overall, I thought it was a great match. Yeah, I liked it. So the main event for the last time ever, at least that's what they tell us. We got John Cena versus the hometown hero, Randy Orton. And I kind of put an asterisk on the, you know, hometown hero part. We'll talk about that in a few seconds. But I love the fact that when Randy came out, the crowd in St. Louis went crazy. I love seeing wrestlers being loved by their hometown. It's an amazing thing to see. But in saying that, after John Cena retained that title, I don't know if you guys heard that, but the crowd was chanting, "Thank you, Cena." St. Louis, what happened? Is it because he came out with the St. Louis Blues and a retro St. Louis Rams color? I'm not buying that t-shirt, but I'm a Rams fan, but I'm not buying that shirt. What happened, guys? Why did y'all flip on Randy Orton after he lost? That is so fake. What are y'all doing? But that's not my problem. I don't get paid to worry about that type of stuff. But the match overall, I thought it was a whole lot of fun. The only gripe I have about it is they went the route that they did with 2 other matches on this card. And they went to the super overbooking route, right? Once, maybe twice on a PLE is fine, but 3 times, bro, I think that's a little bit over the top. But, you know, maybe that's what helped this match get, you know, feel a little bit longer and become more entertaining down the road. Maybe that's just what it was, and I appreciate that part of it. But next time, we don't need too many overbooked matches. That's just what I'm saying at the end of the day. But overall, I thought the match was pretty entertaining. And the thing is, it kind of happened the same way these Roman Reigns matches used to happen when he was champion. Referees get knocked out left and right, passing out. Now, I will say this. I got to say this on behalf of the referees, bro. I do, because I'm tired of seeing it. WWE, please feed your referees, bro. There's no way they're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner if every time they get in the ring and someone blows their breath on them, they get dizzy and they pass out, bro. These mugs are malnourished. Can we get a 5 cents a day program so we can get these referees some lunch, a Lunchable or something, bro? I know it's hard in this economy, but bro, Please feed the referees. They don't deserve this. They need to do their job at full capacity. They be having 5 concussions a match, bro. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. But all jokes aside, we saw that happen. John Cena cheated. But the most interesting part about this match was R-Truth coming out and stopping Randy Orton from finishing the job. Like, bro, stop. He's my hero. That's my boy. That's my boy. Don't hurt my boy. It's all good. And that pretty much helped John Cena win that match. Now, this is the second time that John Cena won a match when it comes to that title. With having a black person come out to his rescue. I don't know who the next person is going to be, but it's getting a little crazy. It's getting a little crazy out here. But at the end of the day, this match was way better than what we got at WrestleMania. I think it was pretty good. And the more interesting part is, although that R-Truth came out to help John Cena, in the press conference, John Cena hit R-Truth with the attitude adjustment. So how would R-Truth respond to this? Will he be upset with his hero and they have something going on? But I feel like, given R-Truth's type of character where he kind of like forgives the wrong people for the wrong things, he'll probably be like, oh, that's my hometown hero. He does that. He it is what it is. I messed up, kind of like some weird like Stockholm syndrome type thing going on. And maybe they'll team up or John Cena will use them or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, overall, I like this show. The show was really, really good. The pacing was really fast. We had a lot of great matches. None of the matches felt like they were as long as they were. Like when my guy Byron showed me the length of some of these matches, I was like, that match was 15 minutes. That match was 12 minutes. That match was almost 30 minutes. It did not feel like that at all. And I think it was the perfect amount of wrestling when it comes to a show or for a PLE at the end of the day. But what do you guys think about this show? What was your favorite match? What was the worst match? Give me some grades for matches. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Flex Zone Podcast will be doing a Backlash review and recap later on today. They will live stream it. Go check my brothers out. Salute, peace. Have a great day. Treat your mamas right, all right?